The lines are open and Monica will take your calls between now and 6 o'clock. She's there. Is she? Has she got the red?
Yep, that's fine. Yep. Put the ballygown in the middle of the table, Bridget, that's right. And clean glasses, all right? And some milk for Garrett, yes. John, where is Garrett? He's very late. He's not in his room, is he, Breda? Chairs, Breda, chairs. I'm worried, John. Call him at home, would you? No, Breda, over there. Never mind, John, he's here. Oh, God, Breda, look at the state. Hello, Dr. Phil.
Terribly sorry I'm late, Monica.
Not to worry.
I called a taxi. The taxi driver went to Palmerstown instead of Palmerston. I don't know why. It's not as if he couldn't understand what I was saying. I mean, it's not as if I'm Dutch.
Well, right, you're here now, Dr. Fitz. Yes.
There's a lot of money on the meter, Monica. I couldn't possibly afford...
Yes, Breda, get my handbag, would you? I'm ready, John. You know, Rita, I walk through the streets and people are humming that. Hello, everybody, and welcome. It's another Sunday, another Monica Moody show, and time to relax and put your feet up, unless you're driving. And what a week it's been. More violence, more crime, more atrocities, and then there was that awful decapitation road accident somewhere in America. Still, on the bright side, we've a new Miss Ireland, and journalist Terry Keane has just been shot, and about time too, to stardom on Brendan Bov's morning radio show. But coming up first, Suburban Armed Response, after this.
Monica Moody, she's the best.
Now, as regular listeners will know, I live in South County Dublin. I can't be more specific than that for security reasons. Beachfield Close, Glenageary is in many ways very comfortable. But is there a dark side, a sinister side to life in this leafy South Dublin paradise? Lillian Brazel, welcome. Now, Lillian, I think I should begin by saying that we are neighbours. In fact, we were in the same neighbourhood watch group for a few months. But then you left, Lillian, didn't you? Why, Lillian?
Excuse me, Monica.
Don't be nervous, Lillian.
Yes, Monica, I did. Mm-hmm. I thought we'd a lot of fun in that group.
Oh, now, remember the row about the dividing wall.
For goodness sake, we'll be laughing about that one for a long time to come.
Absolutely. But, Lillian, we must stop this amusing little saunter down memory lane. Lillian, you left that group because you wanted to form a new group, the Neighbourhood Watch Militant. Now, tell us about that. Coffee, Breda.
Well, Monica, I personally felt, now maybe I was wrong, I don't know, but I felt that the ordinary group wasn't going far enough. You know, I thought we could do more. I felt we could do more to stop crime, more to protect the elderly who are particularly vulnerable.
Well, look at Garrett.
Yes.
So what did this new group, Neighbourhood Watch Militant, actually do?
Right. Well, first of all, we patrolled the area, the local area, in a more intensive fashion. We, myself and the other housewives involved, believed in 24-hour surveillance, using a system of foot patrols, cars and horses. In fact, we were very lucky with the local pony club. They were so helpful to us. Thank you, Alice.
Bit of a plug there, huh? But Lillian, you still had a feeling of helplessness, didn't you, in the fight against crime? You were doing so much and then a little voice told you you could do more.
That's right. I began to feel that we, the ordinary residents of Glenageary, had the right to defend ourselves against crime by any means necessary. So I started another group.
And what was that called, Lillian?
Suburban Armed Response.
Which is what, Lillian? Oh, thanks, Breda.
Well, good question, Monica. Suburban Armed Response is a highly trained squad of crack housewives fighting crime. And this is where it's different. We fight it before it happens in the Glenageary area.
And you use guns?
We do. When absolutely necessary, we do.
Very moving. And you say you stop crime before it happens. What does that mean in practice? Explain, Lillian.
Well, what that means, Monica, Well, okay, let me first explain. Excuse me.
No, please don't be
I'm
nervous.
sorry, I'm a little bit nervous. I haven't done this before. What that means, crimes in the Glenageary area, crimes like car theft, burglary, treason, crimes like this are always committed, we find, by people not from the area. Now, this has been borne out time and time again. This is fact. So that's what we decided to target, people not from the area.
And you have an observation post at the local dart station, isn't that right, Lillian?
That's right, we do. We have adopted what we call a stop and search policy, and it's for everybody without a Glenageary residential address.
What about assault?
Well, when absolutely necessary, we feel we have to. Yes.
And as a final measure, Lillian?
As a final measure, we have a shoot-to-kill policy from people, for people from Darndale.
From Darndale, yes. And I'm sure that's very effective, Lillian. You're doing marvellous work. Any future plans?
Well, I feel very strongly that we should try to make the dart one way. This is the only way we're going to combat this problem. We have to prevent people coming into our area. And Suburban Armed Response is also pushing at this moment for rifle sights to be erected at windows so that we can have a shoot from the home programme, which we hope will be particularly useful for women with young children.
Sounds very, very exciting.
Yes, and we're having a coffee morning to raise money for this on Tuesday.
Well, I'll certainly be there.
Well, I hope so, Monica. It's in your house.
Oh, yes, I almost forgot. Right, I think I have a couple of cheesecakes in the freezer.
Lovely. What kind?
Fine. Lillian Brazel, or Lillian Boys from Brazel, as you're known locally, thank you very much.
Thank you. At ease, number 7.
That's enough now, Lillian. Show Garrett your machete there. We'll be back with the Galway Arts Festival after this. I'm Monica Moody. Will you let me in?
Oh, bravo. Oh, my goodness. Oh, this is extraordinary.
Well, we're having a bit of a party in the studio today, listeners. As the Galway Arts Festival opened this week, we thought we'd have our own little bit of festival fun right here in the studio. And so we've been set upon, so to speak, by one of the acts from this year's festival. He's a young man called Thierry Balsam. He's from France, and he's a juggler. Bonjour, Thierry. Take it away. Is the mic off? Okay. God, Lillian, it's funny, but I can't stand Galway, can you? It's crawling with, what does Tony say? Half-washed hippies with a bloody arts grant. And as for lesbians, I have never seen anything like it, Lillian. They're everywhere. The bookstores are full of them. And another thing, you cannot find a decent restaurant. It's all bloody, what's the word, lesbians. And that awful diddly-idle music. And Mary Coughlin. And as for the lesbians, Oh, are we back? Right. Merci, Thierry. Thank you for your juggling. And we'll have more from the Galway Arts Festival later in the show. Now, much of the country was shocked and outraged this week to hear of yet another massive drugs haul off the coast of Kerry. We have Garda Sean Byrne, who listeners will know from RT's Crime Line, here in the studio. Sean, why has there been this massive increase in drugs discoveries in the past 3 years?
Well, Monica, in the case of this most recent drugs find, the boat in question with the drugs had been under surveillance for some time, and the drugs were recovered as a result of a vital lead from a member of the public.
John, could you stop that music now? Sean, I'm speaking to you now as a mother of 2 children, Ronan, Ciara. Frankly, Sean, I'm worried. Drugs are flooding the country. It's endless. And are we only seeing the tip of the iceberg? I'm worried, Sean. As a mother, I'm very, very worried.
I understand, Monica. The Gardaí in the Cork and Kerry region are always happy to hear from members of the public with information about drugs. In the fight against drugs, information and modern up-to-date uniforms are vital. The new uniform is light, easy to clean, and looks crisp and stylish, whatever the weather. The old uniform was very difficult to dry.
I know, but Sean, back to drugs. Sean, I'm desperately concerned. And isn't it funny that all these drugs have only started arriving in the last 3 years? Funny that, Sean, isn't it?
Gardaí now have more freedom in pursuing cases like these, mainly because of the new easy-to-wear uniform, which is modern and up to the minute.
Let's look at the facts, Sean. I have a bit of a theory about all of this. All these drugs start flooding into the country in the last 3 years, correct? Mary Robinson became president almost exactly 3 years ago. Coincidence? I think not.
Yes.
Now, of course, I'm not saying, not for a minute, it would be ridiculous, that Mary Robinson was directly connected with drug smuggling. I mean, that would be absurd. Yes.
No.
No,
Yes.
don't interrupt me. Sean, one thing. Didn't I read in the papers that the drugs baron at the centre of this raid was an Englishman, known only as Mr. Big?
That is correct, Mr. Big.
Mr. Big. Mr. Mysterious Big. Englishman, not Alan Stanford, funnily enough, so that makes it a little more difficult. Sean, question. Might Englishman mean Protestant? Now, I have a bit of a theory about all of this. Bear with me.
Now, really, Monica, there is no evidence
Look,
for
Protestant.
that.
Big, obviously. Interest in art, books, that kind of thing, maybe. Beard, perhaps. Sean, I'm just trying to piece things together for my own sanity here.
I think I know what you're suggesting, Monica, and I'm appalled. I'm smartly dressed, but I'm appalled at the implication. The man is an Englishman, but in no way resembles the man you suggest.
But I'm not suggesting anything, Sean. I'm just desperately trying to tie this thing together. Clue, massive drugs increase. Clue, Mary Robinson becomes president. Clue, mysterious Mr. Big. Clue, Protestant, big, beard. Clue, drug baron.
I think you should leave the detective work to the Gardaí, Monica, who are better equipped and better dressed.
Fine, I have my theory. You have your new uniform. Meanwhile, drugs are flooding in by the boatload, and Mary Robinson goes scot-free. Thank you, Garda Sean Byrne.
Monica Moody, she's the best.
Oh, we're back. Well, we've been looking through something very interesting which I found in the loo before the show. It's an address book. Now, there's no name on it, but there's a lovely cat on the front.
Ah, yes, that's Garfield.
Yes,
Garfield
well
the cat.
done, Garrett, yes. And there are the initials TK. TK, yes, and the address is Dublin, Ireland, the world, the universe. It's a terrible writing. Any guesses whose it might be, Garrett?
TK, Top Cat.
I don't think
No,
so.
perhaps not.
Lillian, what about you?
Oh, I don't know, Monica. Tony Kenny?
I don't think so. I'll tell you, it's my guess that it's Terry Keenes.
Oh,
Yes.
Terry Keane.
Terry Keane, journalist and celebrity grandmother, yes. Do you think that it might be Terry Keenes, Garda Sean?
Terry Keane. Now, Terry Keane is well known to us at the Gardaí. He has been helping us in connection with a number of bank
Oh,
raids.
no.
and
I
he's
think you'll find
very,
Terry Keane is not actually a man, funnily enough. Although she is a bit beefy around the shoulders. What would you say, Lillian? You might be on something there, Garda Sean. Garrett, could it be Terry's?
Well, of course, Terry Keane has been on Brendan Bough's morning radio program all this week.
Exactly
So the
right.
probability, statistically, is very high that she might have left it behind her.
Oh, here,
We
let's
could
have a little look
project
through
the
here.
probability.
Look. Oh, here we are. F, very interesting. Well, we have France, king of, and the address is Paris, France. And then we have 5-star pizza, and 4-star pizza. Obviously a big pizza fan, Garrett.
Well, of course, Terry is well known as an Italophile.
Oh, they say that about her.
right.
Yeah,
Terry is
spends
actually
a lot of
he's a
time
good
in
friend
Italy.
of
Many
mine.
friends there.
Very
Signor
fond of
Andriossi,
Italy. She's
the Cicciolina.
mountains.
Mountains of pasta. And loves the
And we had
puds,
a
the Italian
little,
puds.
That's right. I believe she does. But we had a little Italian student staying with us.
Who knew Terry?
Marco. Oh, very
Yes.
well. She was
Maybe-
so good to him. She brought
Might
him
find that
everywhere with
address
her,
and
you
number
know.
later on. Oh, here, under K, we have King of Italy, yes, address Italy. King of Pizza, K-Star Pizza, nightlife, escortation, Keen, Ronan. That one's been crossed out, Lillian.
Terry is, of course, what could be called a woman of the world. She's visited many different places,
Oh, she's
including
been around,
in
yes.
alphabetical order Albania, Andorra, Athlone, Thai, Australia, Austria.
Are you sure Terry Keane is a woman?
Oh, yes, well, so far as we
Many
know,
places.
anyway, Garda-Sean. Oh, here we are, under Q, we have the Queen, address England. Quick Star Pizza, quick loans, no questions asked. Queer Street cash offers, quickie pizza. Oh, honestly, Lillian.
More pizza.
Well, it's certainly all very interesting, and I think we'll certainly get back to Terry's address book later in the show, along with some other very interesting items I found in the gents. But first, we're joined in the studio by someone I admire deeply. He's a cosmetic surgeon. His name is Cormac Nealon. Cormac, welcome.
Hello.
Oh, Cormac, Lillian Brazil.
We've met.
Brazil, did you hear me? Lillian Brazel, and of course you know Dr. Garrett Fitzgerald.
Yes, hello.
Now, Cormac, yours is an unusual story. You were born a plastic surgeon. You had a very lucrative practice in South County Dublin. Lots of well-known clients. Oh, Lillian, you should see the list. Derek and Thelma, Frank and Teresa, Tom and Pascal, Foster and Alan. I could go on and on. But anyway, Cormac, you suddenly decided to give all that up, didn't you?
Yeah, that's right, Monica. One day I was returning to my office in Fitzwilliam Square, and as I was driving up Sheriff Street...
Bandit country.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought to myself, here I am with my big car, my comfortable lifestyle, and I looked at the poor people all around
I know Linda
me.
Martin isn't
Indeed,
awful.
yeah. And people who couldn't afford to feed their own families. And I just thought, I want to help them.
It's sort of a road to Damascus experience then, Cormac. Comment, Cormac? Oh, well. So what then? You had a successful practice performing cosmetic surgery on rich people, and you suddenly what?
Well, I abandoned my office and went working amongst the poor.
And performing cosmetic surgery on them?
Yeah, and on the people who help them.
Oh, so you said, why should cosmetic surgery be only for the rich? Why shouldn't the poor have it as well?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So you started out, if I'm not very much mistaken, with Father Peter McVerry.
Yeah. He'd been working very hard among the homeless children, and he came to me very worried about his nose.
Too big?
Too big. And sort of lopsided.
Yes.
And he was very troubled by it. In every other respect, he was a very good-looking priest, but I had to help.
So you gave Father Peter McVerry a nose job.
Yeah.
And you did something very special with Tony Gregory as well, didn't you?
Yeah. I just removed a couple of tattoos from certain intimate places. He was very grateful.
Oh, I'm sure, yes.
But then, as a direct result of that, I was approached by Sister Stan.
A personal hero of mine. Now, what was her problem?
Yeah, well, Sister Stan was at the time working in Mountjoy, and she was particularly worried about the bags under her eyes. They were upsetting the prisoners.
So you gave her a nip and a tuck then, Cormac, and was that all that was needed?
Yeah. It was a simple procedure.
As you know, Lillian, yes.
I don't know if you've seen the recent photographs.
Oh, I have. It's taken years off her. I'd say that was a very challenging assignment. Dr. Garrett Fitzgerald?
No, I haven't worked on him.
Yes, Monica, I was wondering if the doctor has ever worked directly with the actual poor.
Oh, no, Garrett. I think we're more interested in the celebrity angle here. Cormac, more big names, please. Who else did you do a job on?
Well, there was the case of a very well-known public figure.
Oh, and who's that?
No, I can't say.
Oh, go
sorry.
on, Cormac. Just give us a clue. Go on.
Oh, well, all I'll say is woman. Smallish.
Yeah.
Recently given freedom of Dublin City. I can't say any more than that.
An old woman does a lot of work with the poor. Am I getting warm, Cormac?
Well.
Okay, I know. Don't worry, Cormac. I won't say who it is. It's Maureen Potter, Lillian. So, Cormac, cosmetic surgeon to the poor. I mean, you do this for no financial reward.
Yeah. Money doesn't matter to me. I get pleasure just from seeing a happy, smiling, and completely altered face.
Well, I suppose you feel a very different man from what you were before.
Yeah, I hardly recognise myself.
I suppose, statistically, that's an occupational hazard in your profession, Doctor.
Little joke there from Garrett. Well done, Dr. Fitz. Yes, well, Dr. Cormac Neelan, thank you very much. Do stay with us.
Excuse me, Doctor, have you ever seen one like that before?
Oh, now stop it, Garrett. Put that away.
Monica Moody, she's your friend.
I know. Well, I'm in the studio with Dr. Garrett Fitzgerald and our guests, Cormac Neelan and Lillian Brazel. And earlier, you'll remember that we were examining what looks like Terry Keane's address book, which I found in the Gens. Cormac, have you ever worked on her?
Terry, lovely person. Yes, I once did a job on him.
No, her.
Oh, him, her, whichever. It was very dark.
Lillian, you've been looking through the L's. Anything interesting there?
Yes, I have, Monica. Well, there's quite a few of interest here. There's Lord Henry Mount Charles. Now,
and his wife, Iona Castle.
Good one. I hadn't heard that one before, no. But you'd expect to find him in there, I suppose. But there's Lord's Pizza, La Lady's Dress Rental, that's Dorset Street thing. This one, Lusty Linda's Love Line. I don't know who'd be calling that. Liver salts by the lorry load. Leo's 1 hour liposuction.
And I think she'd need more than the hour. She'd need the overnight. Garrett, you've been going through the P's.
Yes, Monica. We have Pizza action, pizza panic, pizza frenzy, pizza for women, and pretentious pizza, post-menopause pizza, pompous pizza, princess pizza, Prince Charles
Stop. That's
pizza.
enough. That's enough, Garrett. Rita, could you phone that one for me? A post-menopause pizza. I'll have a large one with everything. Right. Well, while we've been speaking, we've been taken over again by entertainers from the Galway Arts Festival. And right now in the studio, we've a man on stilts. Whoops, Daisy. We've a puppeteer of some sort. Yes, and I don't know what that is over there. And we've a fire eater. Oh, let's watch that for a few seconds. Is this off, John? Now, Lillian. Now, do you see what I mean? They're all like that in Galway. Every last one of them tinkers. See that one with the nose ring? Watch her. It's a lesbian. And watch out for her in the loo. Listen, fancy a drink after the show. Whoop-la! Wasn't that marvellous? Yes. And very little actual damage. Garrett, could you see to that?
Yes.
Right, while Garrett tries to put out the fire, let me introduce you now to a very special woman who's just joined us. She's done an amazing amount of work for women and charity in general. She's a personal hero of mine. She's our Woman of the Week. She's Maureen Huge. Maureen, welcome.
Thank you, Monica. Very nice of you to have me.
Oh, very nice of you to find the time, Maureen, because as usual, I know you're very busy. What are you working on at the moment?
Well, at the moment, I'm completing a survey on women in the workplace for the European Commission.
Lovely.
And I've also just finished creating a programme for training children from the travelling community.
You are so marvellous, Maureen. You know, Maureen, you make me feel absolutely useless. You do so much. And yet 10 years ago, you were just an ordinary housewife. Isn't that right?
That's right.
Yes.
But then I felt I had to get more involved. So I got involved with the Council for Women. And then Concern were very kind to take me in and let me help them out. And then I followed on that with Trócaire. And then Rights for the Handicapped.
Stop.
And I really haven't had a minute since.
Oh, God, Maureen, just listening to this, I'm so ashamed. I'm so ashamed. I feel so inadequate. I mean, I do nothing. I'm just a vegetable.
Oh, nonsense, Monica. That's not true. You're a wife and a mother, and that is the hardest job there is.
That's very nice of you to say, Maureen. A bit patronising, perhaps, but very, very nice. But I've done nothing compared to you. You just said, and I can hear you, Maureen, you just said, I'm going to work for others and forget all the trivial little details, like personal appearance, for instance.
Yes, I did sort of neglect that side of things.
No. One thing, Maureen, it's not glandular, is it, your weight?
No.
Fine. Just plain old ordinary gluttony then. Were you fat as a child, Maureen?
Monica, you've actually thrown me off the track a little bit here.
I am sorry. Typical me. Typical useless me getting lost in pointless trivia.
Yes.
Let's talk about your work, eh? Now, you've just come back from Bosnia. What was that like?
Yes. Well, now, Monica, it was very difficult. There's a lot of misery, a great deal of suffering.
Food shortages.
Yes.
You must have found that particularly difficult, did you?
Well, yes, like everyone else, I have to eat. But,
but you don't eat like everyone else, do you? You eat like everyone else put together. Listen to me rabbiting on.
So, Monica,
let's talk about something else. Your hair. Is it meant to be like that, or are you just doing it for a bet?
Really, what is this?
No, I notice you don't wear any makeup, Maureen.
No, I have an allergy. I don't believe in wearing...
Oh, never mind me. I'm only joking. Listen to me. I'm useless. I'd say those slacks have a history, do they?
Excuse me, I find this quite objectionable, if you don't mind. For God's sake,
yes. There she goes, listeners. Well, I'm full of admiration. Maureen Huge, thank you so much. You're our Woman of the Week. Now, normally we'd give our winners a hairdryer, but obviously not in your case. How about a hamper, huh? Maureen? Oh, well, it seems Maureen had to leave the studio. Fine. Good manners are apparently one of the other little details she thinks so unimportant. And she's not shy about blowing her own trumpet, is she? Well, I don't
Monica Moody, she's my mother.
We're back. I love those little pieces of music. I know you do as well, Garrett.
Oh, yes, absolutely
They're
ingenious.
very special. My son Ronan did them, funnily enough. He has a little machine in his bedroom. And so does Lillian. Well, John, we have a caller on the line. Is that right? Oh, right. Hello, caller.
Hello, Monica.
And who's that?
It's Moira from Castle Troy.
Oh, hello, Maura. Lovely to hear from you again.
Yeah. Listen to me, Monica. I'd like to complain to you now about the way you treated that very fat lady, Monica. I was disgusted with you.
Well, she was huge, you know, Maura.
Was she,
Oh,
Monica?
yes.
Was she enormous?
Oh, she was bigger than that. Bigger than that.
Really? Oh, some people are very fat, aren't they?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, yeah, we have a neighbour, you know,
Looney.
Mrs.
Mrs. Looney, that's
she's
right.
very big, you know. She's like a big fat elephant, God help her. And the other day, actually, Monica, an awful thing happened.
What?
Poor little Trixie, you know, she's one of Sissy's little pups. Well, Mrs. Mooney fell on top of her. I was desperate,
dear.
Monica. You
What
know,
a
you felt sorry for
mess.
both of them. I wasn't
Squashed it, I'm sure,
which I
yes.
should feel sorrier for, you know. But
Well,
she
fine,
sprained
Maura.
her
I'd
ankle.
love to
Trixie
stay on
did
chatting
now,
to you about
and
it,
we
but
had
we're a
to
bit pressed for time. Anything you'd like to hear from the archives while we
Yes,
have you?
Monica, I would. I'd love to hear that piece again where you insulted that fat lady.
Well, we'll see what we can do for you by
Oh,
the end of the
fantastic.
show.
Thank
Not
you,
at
Monica.
all.
Thank you very
Deal
much.
with that, John, would you?
Love your show.
Thank you, Maura.
I had the same experience in Sheriff Street myself. Yeah, on Tony's with Tony.
Put that pizza down there, Peter, yes.
Oh,
Now. It's delicious. Oh, we're back. Now, well, we're nearing the end of the show, and I settled down, you lot. And I'd just like to say at this juncture, isn't it awful about Desi O'Malley? Lillian, I know you agree with me about this. Garrett, give him a poke there, Cormac.
What?
Garrett, why is Desi O'Malley such a little whinger? Huh? You don't know my daughter Kira. Exactly the same. They could be sisters.
Well, of course, Desi O'Malley has a very interesting political history.
Oh, for heaven's sakes, Garrett. It's all whinge. Desi O'Malley cuts his fingers, send for an ambulance. And such an exaggerator. Am I not right, Lillian? He exaggerates absolutely everything as far as I can see.
Well, to be fair, Desi O'Malley is a serious and conscientious politician. He joined the Fianna Fáil party in the early 60s.
He's a schoolgirl, Garrett. Desi gets a bit of a slap. He runs home crying. He's been
thank you very
criminally
much.
assaulted.
He's unlikely now to be Taoiseach, it's true. But he might make a very interesting
Pizza there.
presidential candidate.
I'm
say, in
sorry.
14
I have
years.
to stop you there, Garrett. Now, I speak as
thank
someone
you
who's
very
prepared
much.
to
Are you
admit
sure?
that they voted for Brian Linehan.
Oh, so did I. Sorry, Austin Curry.
And I'm only prepared to admit that after 3 years of counselling. But if they ever make Desi president, oh my God, rises to think of
I
it.
did a job on Brian
Whinge in that whingy little
Very
voice.
nice woman.
Desi gets a head cold, send for the priest. Desi's burger is underdone, call a beef tribunal. I mean, for goodness sake, Lillian, what do you think?
Well, he's a dreadful little man, of course, and he'd never be let into Glengarry.
Absolutely. Attack on sight. Cormac, what do you think?
It is a funny voice.
Oh,
yes.
yes.
And I did a job on him once.
Oh, yeah,
And-
in the airport. Oh, thank you, Cormac. Thank you so much for assaulting Desi O'Malley.
No, well,
And
actually...
Gareth,
no.
listen. If you like him so much, why don't you join the PDs? Oh, see, you've no answer to that. Huh? Strangely silent, Garrett Fitzgerald, ex-world leader. See that, Lillian? Well, I wish I had a camera. Lillian, back off that pizza. Well, there's no time left. Oh, yes, go on, Garrett. Back to your little room and sulk. There he goes, listening. And in fact, we're all going. My thanks to Lillian Brazel, to Dr. Cormac
know
Neelan,
about here?
Garda Sean Byrne, Maureen Huge, and of course to Garrett Fitzgerald, who's just left. Join me next week, same time, same place. I'm Monica Moody. Will you let me in?
The Monica Moody Show featured Pauline McLynn, Pom Boyd, David Parnell and Jonathan White. The script was written by Gerry McNamara and Fiona Looney. Monica Moody was devised by Gerry McNamara. The programme was produced by John Caden.